Hello and welcome to Drive with the DW Car Show. In this edition, a look behind the scenes at Audi Quality Assurance. The Essen Motor Show celebrates its 50th anniversary. Plus, the new VW Golf Sportsvan. Volkswagen has one of the largest product ranges of any car maker, and it just keeps on finding market niches and gaps to fill. In 2004, it developed the Golf Plus from the Golf. This was intended to fill the gap between the compact car and the 7-seat compact van, and the concept lives on, although with another name. Contester Andre Zimmermann explains that in 2014 the Golf Plus was made over as the Golf Sportsvan in an effort to combat its oldster car image. Since the name change, it's rung up some 150,000 sales. Now, to make sure it keeps on selling, VW has updated both design and technology. Under the hood, the 1.2 and 1.4-liter gasoline engines have been dropped in favor of a 1.5-liter TSI with cylinder deactivation. Whether a 1 or a 1.5-liter engine, VW rates fuel consumption for each at 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Andre thinks the name Sportsvan is more than a little misleading, as it's neither a proper van nor all that sporty. A higher center of gravity does not suit a sports car, and in his experience, it doesn't handle like a sports car. It feels more nice, good-natured, and safe.
Ist in meinen Augen das Fahrverhalten nicht sportlich, sondern sicher und gutmütig.
On the outside, the changes are not quite as apparent. The update is only a facelift, not a new model. One feature is the new daytime running lights in the headlights and a new front spoiler, and the LED taillights are now standard. On the inside is the classic analog instrument cluster. The Sportsvan does not offer a virtual cockpit, but at least the navigation system has been modernized. For Andre, the new Golf Sportsvan's real highlight is the rear seat. At first glance, it may not look that spacious, but one pull of a lever expands it generously, a total of 18 centimeters forwards or backwards. So, what about headroom? It's relatively easy to adjust the headrest and set it back a little. But the promotional press kit is one thing. Reality is often another. This test car has a panorama glass roof, which brings the liner a bit lower. Too low for Andre, who feels like he could use some more room up top. Depending on the configuration, the Golf Sportsvan offers between 590 and 1,520 liters of luggage space, far more than the Golf Sport Wagon. Andre knows from his own experience that he's got to be extra picky if he's going to find something to criticize about a Volkswagen, and the Golf Sportsvan is no different. He judges it to be a good and robust car. But why should a buyer choose the Golf Sportsvan over another car? If he wanted a bigger car than a Golf, he could pick a Caddy. For a higher seat position, he could go for a Touran, which offers more room, or a Tiguan, which as an SUV is trendier. So what might swing the decision to buy a Golf Sportsvan? The new Sportsvan has piled on the assist systems. In the version with DSG automatic transmission, traffic jam assist can actually take over some of the driving semi-autonomously, up to 60 kilometers per hour. So the Sportsvan is hardly destined to remain a niche model. It starts at 20,000 euros in Germany and ends close to 30,000 euros for the top-of-the-range Highline version. Quality is important to car manufacturers. Audi has a Tech Day where interested people can visit various departments and laboratories for an insight into the company's quality control efforts. The first stop for visitors focuses on fault analysis. More than 10,000 sensors measure a huge variety of parameters in the vehicle. For demonstration purposes, a metal bar conveys vibrations from the engine to the interior. A diagram shows what faults arise at what time and what might be causing them. That makes it a lot easier for a repair shop to locate and fix problems. Florian Heuberger from Service Technology says that as automotive technology grows more complex, his department makes it possible to keep this technology manageable so that repair shops can clearly identify, analyze, and solve problems. In the future, with the advent of autonomous driving, cars will have even more sensors. Jens Schaufler's Materials Engineering Department watches over Audi cars and their parts, from development through production to performance on the road. The team's work is divided into the typical areas: suspension, engine, interior, exterior, just as you would intuitively divide up a car from looking at it. But new parts aren't all his department scrutinizes. They also look at old parts that fail to do their jobs. This is a focused ion beam, a combination of scanning electron microscope and ion cannon that can remove thin layers of material, making it possible to conduct high-resolution analyses deep inside the part. Removing outer layers exposes the spot that needs to be examined. Functionally important parts are growing ever smaller, explained Schaufler. We're reaching the sub-micro or nanometer range, which is really decisive for the functionality of a component. This technology reveals damage and problems you wouldn't see even with a magnifying glass. An essential field is semiconductor technology. This technology, explains specialist Robert Kraus, is central to all automotive innovations coming in the future. Audi's Semiconductor Lab ensures that the technology fulfills the quality standards that a maker of luxury cars places on functionality. But what exactly does that mean, and why is it important? If you think of your cell phone, says Klaus, if its electronics stop working after 2 years, you might get annoyed. But you'll probably say, oh well, time to buy a new one. But Audi's electronics are designed to work without a hitch for 15 years. And this is the difference in lifespan and robustness between consumer electronics and automotive electronics.
Bezüglich Umgebungsbedingungen, das macht den Unterschied zwischen Consumer und Automotive Elektronik.
The Audi team is especially proud of what it calls the Meisterbock. It has several sections. One is used to examine the body of a new car design, for example. Robot arms scan the entire vehicle and create a 3D image. Even the tiniest and most inconspicuous deviations are rendered visible, and the requirements facing the industry are growing continuously. Bernhard Zimmermann from Audi Quality Control says quality criteria are shifting with the development of autonomous driving, alternative powertrains, and networking inside the car and between the car and its surroundings. Audi has to meet its customers' changing expectations. Aspects such as material appearance and tolerances are also subjected to meticulous examination. If something isn't up to standards, production processes are revised. All these measures aim to provide customers with a high-quality vehicle with engineering that functions perfectly throughout the life of the car. BMW is launching a second body variant of the i8. The new edition is available as a coupe or a roadster with a fabric soft top. The upgraded 105 kilowatt electric motor gives the plug-in hybrid models all-electric speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour and a range of around 55 kilometers. Overall top speed is 250. The two models will be hitting the road in May 2018. The Symbioz showcases Renault's vision of the automotive future. The concept car is set to have a range of 500 kilometers. Inductive charging means that the batteries need just 20 minutes to reach 80% of their capacity. The Symbioz provides a preview of how autonomous and connected electric mobility could be part of everyday life in 2030. The car is designed to become an integrated extension of the home and of domestic energy management. The Subaru Levorg is somewhat of a rare sight on European roads. We checked out the station wagon version. Here in Europe, says our car reviewer Emmanuel Schaefer, people mainly tend to associate two things with Subaru. First, the WRX STI, the legendary rally car that later became a road-going Model 2 and proved reasonably popular. And then there's the four-wheel drive. Subaru always has four-wheel drive, and the Levorg is no exception. The good thing is, in adverse weather conditions, like you get in Europe in the fall and winter, four-wheel drive has a decisive advantage when driving on wet leaves. The Levorg's exterior boasts a range of sporty touches. The large hood scoop is more reminiscent of a sports car than a family car. And measuring 4.7 meters long, the Levorg has plenty of space for carrying loads. The cargo area has at least 522 liters of room and also has a series of little stowage compartments so that your smaller items do not end up flying around in the back. There are some here on the sides and under the cargo bed. If you need to transport long items, just push this button to flip the rear seats down. And then you have over 1,400 liters of space. And in addition to the cargo space, the Levorg has a lot of room for rear seat passengers too. Emmanuel finds it just as comfortable in back as up front. The front seats are curved, which gives anyone behind more legroom. There's also ample headroom, and one feature he really appreciates is the adjustable seat back. You can sit up straight or lean back and relax. It's something you sadly don't find too often in this segment. Ice blue lighting around the instruments and a 7-inch touchscreen with a built-in sat-nav as well as blue-themed display all discreetly underline the car's sporty styling. The Levorg doesn't offer a wide range of engines. In fact, there's just one, a 1.6-liter gasoline unit putting out 125 kilowatts or 170 horsepower, which does the trick. It makes the dash to 100 kilometers per hour in under 9 seconds. That said, Emmanuel finds the top speed of 210 kilometers an hour a little disappointing. We tested the highest of the three equipment lines, which includes leather seats. So our test car will set you back 37,200 euros in Germany. The entry-level version of this upmarket Subaru costs 29,990 euros. Just under 30,000 euros concludes Emmanuel will buy a well-equipped and comfortable car with four-wheel drive, and for him that makes it a genuine alternative to other station wagons in the segment, such as the VW Passat or the Audi A4. The sole drawback, the thirsty engine. Our car tester Ina says Mazda CX3 is selling like hotcakes, but most people buy a bigger SUV than they actually need. So today we'll be taking a look at the CX5's little brother, the CX3. The smaller car is just under 4 meters 30 long, making it almost 30 centimeters shorter than the CX5. That means it's better at threading down narrow streets or fitting into parking spaces. The CX3 comes with a choice of 2 gasoline engines and 1 diesel unit. Ines is testing the addition with a smaller 88 kilowatt gasoline engine and a manual 6-speed transmission. The shift throw is short, and although this is the smaller engine, its 204 Newton meters of torque develop power smoothly through all 6 speeds. Mazda's SkyActiv technology incorporates all the fuel-saving innovations in its engines, transmission, body, and suspension. Mazda says the CX3 with manual transmission, the version we're testing, needs an average of 5.9 liters of gasoline per 100 kilometers. Standard already with the second-level equipment package is a city emergency brake assistant that registers pedestrians and other vehicles and works at speeds up to 80 kilometers an hour. Among the optional extras is adaptive cruise control with radar-supported distance recognition. Ines especially likes the color Mazda has given all its current models. Metallic ruby red is a very emotional hue, and for her, it fits both Mazda sports cars and this compact SUV. This color goes perfectly with the design, with its flowing forms inspired by nature that remind her of a gorgeous round little cherry.
Und erinnert mich in diesem Fall wirklich an eine knackige, runde Kirsche.
Among the CX3's striking exterior features are its long hood, the passenger compartment shifted toward the rear, and the big radiator grille with its 7 vertical ribs. Plastic parts protecting the body and tinted rear windows give the CX3 a modern look. The rear bench has plenty of leg and headroom. Adults can sit comfortably in the back of a CX3. There are 4 equipment packages available with the compact SUV. We're testing the top one, the Sports line. The dashboard makes do with refreshingly few controls. All important functions can be controlled via a 7-inch touch display. Smartphone connectivity is already standard in the second equipment package. Our version also has the head-up display, which presents high-resolution, full-color information in the driver's field of vision. Ines says that Mazda has improved the CX3 not only technically but also in terms of comfort. The acoustic insulation is better, so the noise level is lower inside the car. Talking of noise, Ines likes the sound the door makes when she shuts it. It underscores perfectly the car's high quality and overall impression. Sweeping lines flow around the rear, so the design looks good from every angle. The CX3 has been around since 2014. Ines says its big advantage is the wealth of options. You can get a 4-wheel version with a 6-speed gearbox or an automatic transmission. But if you want a lot of technology, especially assists, it will cost you because they come only in the higher equipment packages. Overall, Ines thinks the CX3 is well equipped for the competition coming when Volkswagen releases its range of new mini SUVs.
Palette neuer Mini-SUV das Segment aufmischen wird.
The Essen Motor Show comprises 10 days of creative tuning and classic cars galore. This year the event turns 50, reason enough for celebrations. The fireworks were provided by this jet-powered school bus. When you can't sleep at night, says former drag racer Gerd Habermann, you come up with really silly or spectacular ideas. He's been drag racing for 38 years and has a number of jet-powered vehicles. The school bus is something special. Kids would love going to school if they were picked up in this bus. This idea, one took several years to develop, and here is the result. In fact, there are no seats for the kids. They had to make way for the Westinghouse J34 turbojet engine. It runs on jet fuel, generates 25,000 horsepower, and comes with 2 drag parachutes. Also on exhibit is this oddity from Britain. Thinking less can be more, Paul Bird hacked 31 centimeters off his 1989 Golf 2 GTI and welded the rear back on. His 10-year-old VW Beetle has also had some surgery. It had a 66-centimeter section in its middle removed. The doors also had to be downsized to fit, as did the side sills. But stealing the show on a regular basis over the years have been the Rindspeed prototypes from Swiss visionary Frank Linderknecht. This masterpiece is called the Oasis. It's self-driving and, for a relaxing vibe while on the road, has a miniature garden on the dashboard. For music fans, there was this little car jam-packed with speakers. For some people, the sound can never be too loud. The show also featured this funky version of the VW Passat. It has Recaro bucket seats and a body-colored roll cage. This Opel Corsa C was also hard to recognize. The whole interior has been lined with black and orange leather and also has a range of carbon fiber details. It too, of course, has anti-roll bars. Harald Schmidtke has been seeing quite a lot more interior customizing recently. He could easily imagine the trend being taken up by the professional tuners. It occurs quite often that private initiatives end up as commercial trends. Ford took the opportunity to unveil the new racing version of its Mustang GT4 at the Essen Motor Show. In 2016, the Colt Pony car was the best-selling sports car in the world. A special show titled 50 Years of Super Sports Cars featured this Bugatti Chiron with a price tag of some 4 million euros, the most expensive car at the show. It's a new car, but only 150 will ever be built, making it a coveted collector's item right off the assembly line. Another high-priced rarity is this Pagani Huayra BC. 50 were built, and this is the only one currently offered for sale anywhere. Price, 2 million euros. This Rolls-Royce 2025 HP with a Hooper body is the oldest vehicle at the show. It was built in 1934. The VW Beetle has been a darling of many generations now. The nearly half-century-old bug has received an especially colorful paint job from professional tuner Franzi Sommer. She customized and rebuilt almost everything about it, the fenders, headlights, and windows. Among the cars on display in Essen are Hollywood celebrities. This Eleanor Shelby is the original car used in Gone in 60 Seconds, with Nicolas Cage behind the wheel. Batman is here too, on Mercedes AMG stand with the original movie Batmobile from Justice League. In the Essen Motor Show's 50th year, horsepower teams up with emotion for 10 days of fun for young and old. Over 500 exhibitors welcomed more than 350,000 fairgoers. And next time on Drive It, a dream to drive, the 911 GTS convertible. And a super mini with 5 doors and a lot of space, the Ford Ka Plus.